Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and today's hardware review. Today I'm going to be giving a review of the Aurorus GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, the Extreme Edition. Um, Back in 2019 I bought 3 of these, exact same cards. I put one in each of my uh, Windows 10 computers, and I put one in a Windows 7 computer. The Windows 7 computer is 10 years old. Um, Now. Might even be a little older than that. But regardless, this video card works fine in that computer. It actually does a really good job of playing older games. Uh, the reason that I bought those cards was because they do. They had a lot of future proofing on them in that respect. Um, the other reason that I got them was because they had a lot of memory on them. And I wanted a card with a lot of memory, and those come with 11 gigabytes. Um, Here's a couple of older reviews about the card. As the 1080 Ti is now 7 months old, I thought it'd be worth revisiting and having a look at the range of third-party options now available and assess their value and potential performance. You know, you got the Zotac, the EVGAs, mine's a GeForce. They're all really good cards, I'm sure. Um, I don't overclock these cards. I just use them for, like the one in the Windows 7 machine, I use that for gaming. Yes. The two that are in my Windows 10 machines, I don't use for gaming at all. I have no games loaded on any of my Windows 10 machines. I use it for encoding, I use it for video editing, I use it for a backup, but I do not use them for anything else. The ones that I have do have a few more connections in this. And then there's another review here. You know, that they say that they're good cards, and today they're expensive. They're very expensive. When I bought mine, I paid $450 for all 3 of those cards at the same time. And I bought that in 2019. It was like November, I think. It may have been October. October, November 2019. And it was because it was for a good price. Those cards, I believe, when they were originally put on the market, the 2 years prior to that, they were like $900 video cards with the water blocks on them. So yes, I did get a good deal. And today, I have no idea. They're probably over 1,000. They're probably closer to 2,000. Um, they do work well though, and they run nice. I mean, these cards for the last 3 years, the only problems that I've had out of them, I believe, have been issues with Windows 10. I'll get a Windows 10 update, and I'll have like graphicking or something that'll occur for 4 or 5 months, and then I'll get another update and it's gone. So I don't think it's the cards. I think it's more of the operating system. I've never seen that on my Windows 7 machine, and they've been running, like I said, in them for 3 years as well, or in that one for 3 years as well. Um, I believe mine have two 8-pin connectors instead of an 8 and a 6. But even for today, I mean, a window or a GTX 1080 Ti should be able to do most of anything you'd want. I don't know how they would work with brand new games, but as far as for what I do and what I'm using it for, I don't plan on upgrading this um, software that I'm using today for the next 10 years. And I've done that with all of my machines for years in that respect, for 25 years. This is my third upgrade. I upgrade every 10 to 12 years. So the next upgrade that I'll be doing to these machines when I replace the hardware, like new motherboards and hard drives and stuff like that, won't be until 2030. And as you can see, these do run pretty well on a lot of games. Um, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5, Tomb Raider. Never played Hitman. I've got Hitman, but I've never really. I think I turned it on, played like 20 minutes of it, and I was just like, you know what, this is not for me. Same thing with Assassin's Creed. Okay, so what is it that I like about the 1080 Ti? Besides that it's got um, 11 gigs of memory on it. Well, it runs really nice as well. And I'll show you what I mean by that, since I know that it lets me do this. So, yes, my machines are water cooled. I have 3 water cooled computers at this point, and that's a direct result of having water cooling as a hobby for 25 years. Um, I have 2 Windows 10 computers that are water cooled, and then the Windows 7 computer is water cooled. As you see here, my temperatures stay relatively low because of this. If we're looking at just the processor, it runs, like right now it's running between like 32 and 36 degrees. And the hottest it gets when I'm doing stuff is 51, maybe 52. I've seen it go as high as 55 though. Um, and then we can come down to like my memory and hard drives. It all runs relatively cool. This hard drive here is actually outside of the case, I think. Hold on. No, this is the one that's inside the case. Both of these are M.2 drives, and then the next 3 hard drives are outside the case. Yeah, all 3 of these are outside of the case. They're those Western Digital, or not Western Digital, but Seagate. They're like your platter hard drives inside of a little plastic case. They work pretty well. They stay pretty cool, even though they're just sitting there. And then if we come down to like the video card, you can see the video card sits here at 33 degrees. And that's when it's doing stuff. When it's not, it can be as low as 27, 28 degrees when it's just sitting there idle. So yeah, it runs nice and cool. It doesn't ever get hot. Um, I like them. I really do. Now, like they say, if you're doing like 4K, it approaches 60 frames per second at 4K. If you lower your graphical details, it'll probably hit 60K or 60 frames per second. Um, I don't play anything at 4K. I do like to play games at 2K. Um, just because I like the graphics, I like to see what it looks like, and it does that beautifully without a problem. I only have one monitor slash TV that can go to 4K, and I never use it at that. And that's actually the monitor that this is on right now. It's a it's a 4K TV, but I never get it above 1080. I don't want to burn it up, I guess. And plus, this TV's like almost 10 years old. I think it's like 8 years old or 9 years old. So I really don't want to overheat it, and it gets hot just at 1080. So yes, I like the 1080 ties. They run really well. I'm hoping that they'll last another 10 years basically, or 8 years. It is 2022, so yeah, I'm hoping that these things will last me another 8 years, and they should. I mean, the ones that I had before this, um, in my last two water cooled computers that I had before I upgraded to this, I had two 480s in one and two 580s in another. Um, and my third water cooling unit I didn't build until 2019. And I'd been collecting parts for that for 5 or 6 years. So I'd planned on building one, but I had no idea when I would do it or what it was going to be or why. But it was my hobby, so I wanted to build another one. Um, with water cooling, if you're water cooling like your CPU, your motherboard, your video card, this stuff should last, 8 to 12 years. Truly, it should. Assuming you're not overclocking it. Um, Once I have systems to replace these, I have a tendency to overclock these just to see how long they'll last on overclocking. Once they're already, 10, 12 years old. I probably won't do that with these though. Just because I'll flip them out and recondition or reutilize these older computers for backups. So I'll even want to get more years out of it in that respect. But yes, for the last 3 years that I've had these things have run very well without problem. I've had no issues out of any of them. And they have more than enough memory to do everything that I want to do. Well, that's my review for the day, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of yours.